And we're live.
With Paranormal-Spirits, a place we come to get our booze on. We talk about the booze, the things that go bump in the night. And I get to do that with all my booze. I'm Mike Black. To my left, my beautiful, talented, and lovely wife, Alyssa Black.
Hello.
Across from me, my sidekick, confidant, the lovely and talented John Burkett.
Konnichiwa.
I think I'm going to put some...
I guess we're going to Japan today.
I'm going to put some applause in there.
It's always related to whatever story, so I have a feeling that we're doing Japan.
So are you drinking sake over there, John?
No.
We do have some.
Do you?
We do.
That fucky or whatever it's called? Sake?
I don't think it's called fucky, but I mean, whatever you gotta do.
Fukisake.
No, this is larceny barrel strength.
Oh, that's nice. It's kind of sweet, I think.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's stout too. It's got
But 100 and...
It's like 117, 118 proof, something like that. It's legit. Alyssa, you're drinking...
Lagavulin 16. I took a break from the wee beast.
Tears of the God, and I am drinking a Lagavulin special edition, special release, or whatever they call it, 2023, that was aged in Don Julio Añejo casks. Don Julio. So that's what we're drinking now. That's the BOOZE. Let's talk about all the places you can find us. John, I assume this story is coming from Japan, since you mentioned sake.
I didn't say... You said sake.
She said fucky. You said fucky.
I said konnichiwa.
You said konnichiwa. So konnichiwa being...
Hello.
You're right. Then I'm going to assume this is like a story from...
Okinawa.
Japanadia?
Okinawa?
Okay.
Yeah, which is...
Yeah, an island of Japan?
Yeah, this is the southernmost.
Yeah.
It's the south of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that where Allen was?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of American servicemen. Or a lot.
So he's got a story. I have no idea what it is tonight because we haven't shared prior to. And so it's going to be just as much a surprise for me as it is for you. And so if you want to find us on the web and see that Alyssa's actually wearing a bikini tonight.
Huh.
And John's over there in his Speedo. So if you want to see us on YouTube and you want to see what we look like, we're acting goofy and telling stories about spinning ghosts and that kind of stuff, go to 3B Paranormal-Spirits on YouTube. Make sure when you get there, you go down there and you push that subscribe button. It's like right over here. If you want a notification in your email box that says, hey, they put out a new video, go to that. Click on it.
The bell.
And then...
You don't have to click the bell, but...
It'd be nice if you hit the like button. That's that big thumbs up.
But it'd be nicer than that to hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, hit that subscribe button. If you don't hit anything else, hit the subscribe button.
Subscribe.
And you can... And if you come to YouTube...
It doesn't cost anything.
If you're listening to a podcast and you come to YouTube for this one, you'll see that Alyssa's wearing a bikini tonight. We're trying to draw in a crowd. And we know our demographic is old farts like John and myself. And so John's wearing a Speedo.
A kimono.
So John's wearing a Speedo tonight, and you can see that. I'm just in a polo and jeans. If you want to see us on Instagram, TikTok, or X, you can go to paranormal_DASH_spirits. So that's paranormal-spirits spelled out, and it's right there. If you want to go to our website, that's paranormal-spirits.com. And from there, that's a launch pad. You can get to any of our social media. You can get to our Facebook page, which is Booze with Benefits. And we also have a swag store where you can pick up your Boozy's koozie or your Boozy's dad cap or your Boozy's trucker cap or T-shirts, racerback tees, water bottles.
All the things.
We don't have the other one yet.
We don't. No, we don't.
We don't have that yet, but we're going to get that, I think.
What, coochie covers?
Koozie covers, yeah. I think we should have those. What do you think?
Y'all always talk about it, so I'm assuming we need some.
I swear to God, I think it would be so cool to have just like panties made with just that emblem, like right on the front, and like just a string in the back. Because that's
like a G-string.
That's my favorite kind.
Tea bag.
That's your favorite.
Yeah, I really like those.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay.
All right. So, without further ado, am I forgetting anything?
How'd I know you were going to say that?
Am I forgetting anything?
Not that I know of.
We're recording.
Yep.
Lights are on. Cameras are on. All right. Take it away,
Action.
John. Action.
Okay, so we're gonna go over some of the ghost stories of Okinawa, and but first you got to talk about Okinawa. You have to talk about the Battle of Okinawa, which took place from April 1st to June 22nd, 1945. This was one of the largest and bloodiest battles of World War II. It took place on the island of Okinawa, which is in the Ryukyu Islands, the southern archipelago of Japan. It was a crucial strategic objective for the Allies due to its potential as a staging area for the planned invasion of mainland Japan. This was before anybody knew about the nuclear weapon they were building out in New Mexico. And, American forces conducted amphibious landings on the west coast of Okinawa on April 1st, 1945, facing fierce resistance from heavily entrenched Japanese defenders. The battle quickly devolved into brutal, bloody, relentless fighting. Japanese employed a strategy of entrenched defenses using caves, tunnels, fortified positions, and, they fought to the bitter end. It witnessed intense kamikaze attacks against Allied ships, causing significant damage and casualties, and the civilian population of Okinawa suffered immensely. They didn't really consider themselves Japanese at the time. They were Ryukyu Islanders, It was a different culture, different language, different religion.
So to that battle, if you've ever talked to some old timers that were actually there,
Not a lot of those left anymore.
no, there's not. But I mean, as a kid, I remember talking to these guys, and I had a great uncle that was at Okinawa, and
It was rough.
dude, there were horror stories. I mean, horror stories that
Yeah.
he told me about some of the stuff that went on.
I mean, the civilians there, they endured heavy bombardment, displacement from their homes, coerced self-deletion, and being used as human shields by the Japanese. I mean, the Japanese would push a bunch of Okinawan civilians down a hill
As cannon fodder.
as cannon fire, and then they'd start to let the civilians through. The Americans would try to let the civilians through, and then some Japanese soldier would pop out with a hand grenade. So I mean, it was brutal stuff going on. Excuse me, Ellie. I missed the button. So despite fierce resistance, American forces gradually gained ground and began to overpower the Japanese defenders. By late June of 45, the Japanese defense had collapsed. The battle was effectively over. The Japanese commander, Lieutenant General Mitsuru Ishijima, deleted himself rather than surrender, and then the remaining Japanese forces capitulated. There weren't a lot remaining. This was one of the costliest battles of World War II. 50,000-ish American casualties, 12,000 of those KIA. So, when we say casualties, we mean wounded and killed. About 100,000 Japanese casualties, 90,000 of those KIA.
Wow.
Many of those were Okinawans who had been forcibly conscripted in the Japanese army.
Right.
And at least 150,000 Okinawan civilians were killed.
Jeez.
This is in between April and June on an island that is 60 miles long and 7 miles wide.
That is insane.
This is an insane
It
amount
was
of
a literal bloodbath.
a literal bloodbath.
What did they even do with all the bodies? That's so many. Don't know. Burned them?
They burned Japanese bodies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They mass graves and just set fire to them.
That's just so many.
That's all you could do. 90,000 soldiers, Most of them died either from the bombardment or bonsai charges, just running straight into machine gun fire,
Man.
So,
it's a battle like nothing that our generation, your generation, has ever experienced.
If you ever watched the HBO series The Pacific, there's about 3 episodes of that are just Okinawa.
Yeah, it was a hell of a battle.
It was brutal. So, as you can imagine, that much bloodshed and suffering in a relatively small area can leave quite a mark. Mm-hmm. And today, Okinawa is considered one of the most haunted places in the world.
Wow, I wouldn't doubt it.
And a lot of the paranormal events on the island have been reported by U.S. military personnel. Okinawa was home to around 28,000 U.S. military personnel, sailors, airmen, Marines, soldiers. There are 32 U.S. bases on the island. 25% of the island is U.S. military installations.
Wow.
To this day.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's where Alan went, and
because she was in the Navy.
Jasmine.
Yeah. His wife was in the Navy.
Yeah, so they're all there. All 4 branches are at Okinawa.
He said it was... I don't remember how he described it per se, but I know that it was different.
Oh.
Listen, we are all over the place
his
today.
handcuffs again. He's going to escape.
I just remember him talking about the difference in the buildings because they have to build them for earthquake proof.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they have Shiba Inus.
What's that, a dog?
It's a Japanese dog.
Oh.
It's one of the only ones that are from Japan. Yeah.
So one of these bases, and it's a source of a lot of stories, is Kadena Air Base. It's home to the U.S. Air Force's 18th Wing and the 353rd Special Operations Wing. Tour guides give spooky sights tours around Halloween around the air base. There's that many things. And probably one of the most famous things there is an innocuously named building, 2283. 2283 was originally built to serve as base housing for mid-grade officers or equivalent civilian staff, equivalent GS level.
GS.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of this means. Y'all in your military speak.
GS means government service.
Is a civilian government employee.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of guys, when they work in specialized type fields, computer science or security or whatever, they can go immediately. They can just like ETS out of the Army or Air Force, Navy, whatever, the military, and immediately go into a GS job, doing the same job, walking into the same office.
Yeah, I had a buddy who was a master sergeant Air Force, and he ran the network operations center at that base in Nebraska. And when he retired from the Air Force, he was immediately hired back for the exact same job, the exact same base.
Oh, but not the same pay.
Not the same pay, double the pay. I mean, more than double.
GS
because I think we talked about this, that
more.
there was somebody that ended up working for like the postal service, and it had the same situation, that it was they got paid a ridiculous. I mean, obviously it's not still for the military, but it was
anybody who works for the federal government has a GS.
Yeah, like they got paid something.
You get astronomical.
Yes,
compared to what you get as a serviceman.
Yep.
Yeah. But you don't have to be a serviceman for it. I mean, anybody who works for the federal government is GS.
Yeah, and you don't have to show up to formation.
Yeah.
Or do PT.
Yeah.
A lot of the good ones you got to have a college degree though for, like the 3-letter agencies and stuff.
Got you.
So the stories of this building go back to the 70s, when rumor has it, the story is that a young Air Force officer went mad living there, seeing things, hearing things, and ended up murdering his entire family and then deleting himself.
Jeez.
Yeah. So tour guides, they talk about the eerie occurrences there, water faucets and lights turning on and off by themselves, apparitions of a samurai warrior riding a horse through the house.
Really?
I have that apparition all the time.
A Japanese woman appearing at the sink, washing her hair in the sink. Former residents and neighbors report hearing the voices of children laughing, children crying. SPs, driving, doing patrol would see lights coming from inside the house when no one was living there. Go in to check it out, be confronted by a samurai.
Oh my God.
Oh, cool.
You imagine?
No.
I'd grab my
Yeah.
hands.
That sounds awful.
And so the building next door was used as a daycare.
Oh.
Oh no! So the kids are seeing this too.
Yeah, the teachers were reporting that children were throwing their toys over the fence. They'd ask them, "Why are you doing that?" So, well, those kids next door said they don't have any toys and they wanted to borrow ours.
Oh my God.
Nobody living in the place at the time.
Oh, wow.
So we've got some specific people. April Marling, who was a director of Cadena's Information Tickets and Travel Office, recalled one frightening moment when she was giving the annual Spooky Sites tour. She had about 30 people on the tour, and they're standing out in the yard while she's telling the story of the house, and a telephone starts ringing inside the house. Well, everybody hightails it back to the bus because that scared the hell out of them. They call the SPs. They go, look, there's no phone in the house. There's no phone line connected to the house.
Oh my gosh.
So just a phantom sound.
Just a phantom sound. Yeah, that no one orchestrated that,
That they called and it rang.
Just a phantom phone ringing.
Interesting.
Another group of visitors in the mid-90s had a similar experience, according to Jerry Johnson, who was a former tour director for the USO at Cadena. And he said they were all there, and the tour guide was speaking, and a curtain parted right there in the front window. Boom! That was the end of the tour for the evening. So, allegedly, the last people to live in the house before they stopped assigning it as base housing, allegedly, an officer took a knife and murdered his stepdaughter in cold blood. And that was and they stopped assigning it as base housing. Now, the USO's personnel started using the house as storage because their parking lot backs up to the house. So it began being used as USO as storage for them. And Johnson, the USO tour guide, said that they'd heard the stories and he was curious to check out the house. So he and some fellow USO employees went inside. And even though it's summer and nearly 100 degrees outside, he said the house was freezing cold, like the air conditioner had left on. No air conditioning.
Right.
No air conditioner hooked up. He also said he saw bloodstains on the floor and on the old curtains. And his quote is, "It was an extremely eerie experience going into that house."
Is this the one that the dad killed his stepdaughter?
And he said he could feel the presence there.
Yeah.
So there is a woman named Jane Hitchcock, and she's kind of written the definitive book about ghost stories of Okinawa. She was living there from 1992 to 1995 while her husband was in the Marine Corps, and she spent her time there researching, talking to people, cataloging this stuff. And it says in her book, which I've not read. I was going to get it because you can still get it on Amazon. It's only like $5. Probably well worth the money. But she said that on Halloween night in 1994, she performed a seance in the house.
Why not just get the Ouija board out, while you're at it?
She says that she spoke with the spirit of a little girl who played with the spirit of a little boy. And the girl said that she was afraid of the man on the horse.
The samurai.
The samurai. She said that a candle flame would jump up 4 or 5 inches each time that she asked a question that required a yes answer, and that she also had a recording device with her, and that it picked up whispers of the spirit answering questions. Like, so 90s EVPs, probably on cassette tape.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And although many more people asked her to do more seances there, she said she was so spooked and unnerved by the experience, she'd never returned to the house.
I think it's so interesting that there are times when you have like places like that where the spirits, we think about them interacting with us if it's an intelligent haunting, where they touch us or speak to us or answer our questions or whatever, and we talk about that, but nobody ever really talks about the spirits that can see and interact with other spirits in that realm, and it's mentioned at times, in different stories where the one spirit will say, well, that the bad guy's here, whatever, or the guy on the horse is coming through and he scares me, So I always think it's interesting that they can see what's going on over there, just like we can see here on our side, it's creepy.
It's probably worse because they're on that side of the veil. So that's all they see unless somebody happens to stumble into the building.
Yeah.
With the samurai man on the horse.
Yeah.
Well, there is a reason that possibly that was being seen. Apparently, another guide, Setsuko Inafuku.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. You can go to jail for that in Texas, right?
She talks about how ancestor worship is deeply embedded in Okinawan spiritual life, and many island locals are very superstitious. And they believe that many sites on the island that are built on or near ancient burial grounds or sacred sites become prime sites for haunting. And local city officials believe a tomb across the street from 2283. By the way, Okinawa was dotted with these ancient tombs. They're little tunnels or caves built in the sides of mountains. And in the Ryukan religion, they would leave a body out till it was bones, then put it in clay jars and put it into these
What did
tombs.
you call this? This is the
Ryukyu is the island chain.
Ryukyu?
Ryukyu. Spelled like it sounds.
Okay, Ryukyu.
What is their religion?
They have their own Ryukian.
Oh, religion. That's what it is.
Ryukian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ryukianists.
Well, no, that's the name of the island. It's the name of it's their ethnic group. They have their own language, although most speak Japanese now. But anyway, they said that they believe a tomb across the street from 2283 belonged to an Okinawan samurai, and that the house may have partially been built on that property. So, over the decades, all these stories, and especially the urging of the daycare center teachers, that this might be having a negative effect on the children. Base officials finally said, and this is a typical military thing you'll kind of see through these. They said, well, just tear it down.
Yeah.
So, completely tore the house down, annihilated any trace of it, and expanded the playground for the daycare center over the property.
Oh, Lordy.
For real. Oh, my God.
So, that happened in 2010.
Sure, that fixed it.
So, you can no longer go ghost hunting in 2283. It is gone.
That's upsetting.
It's gone.
So these pictures, if you look at them online, that's what the building looked like then.
Doesn't look like much.
No, it doesn't.
It's got a kind of a flat roof. It's kind of cool looking,
But it's not there.
Yeah, it's not there anymore.
Oh, okay. Been demolished.
So another site around Kadena is the Banyan Tree Golf Course.
Is there good golf in Okinawa?
There's air bases. There's always a golf course. At every air base has a golf course.
I didn't know that.
Why are you looking at me that
Well,
way?
because you looked at me funny.
I didn't look at you funny.
Air Force gets the golf courses, the best food, best restaurants, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Who's that?
No,
The Air Force? Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know golfing was a thing with the military.
So, like where I was at Bragg in Pope Air Force Base, it butts up against it because Pope supports the 82nd Airborne Division, 18th Airborne Corps. So we would go over to their chow halls at lunchtime because the food was so much better.
And the golf course is better at both.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Because you played a lot of golf.
Yeah, I know all about golf. Big golfer.
I don't think have you ever played golf?
I've played putt-putt. I kick ass at putt-putt.
No, I mean regular golf, like 18 rounds. 18
No,
holes.
and you know,
Never played regular golf?
I have never played regular golf.
That's never been a conversation we've had. That's why I'm interested in this.
Okay, let's be real. I grew up as a hillbilly, so you know
I mean,
that
I can't imagine.
I didn't have a lot of opportunities
I never
for
played
golf.
it till an adult.
Well, now if you played it, you'd mess up a shoulder. So
I tried to get her dad, who is like,
he likes
huge golfer.
golf.
He loves golf, right? I don't guess he golfs really anymore, but he hadn't played in forever. When? Oh, last year maybe.
He plays on Labor Day.
But he hasn't for several.
I think he did last
He
year.
skipped over.
He does
I think he did.
Yeah, I think he did last year.
He did last year for sure.
Hard to keep up your skills if you're only playing once a year on Labor Day.
Yeah, well, when you tear an Achilles and then
That's what carts are for.
No, you don't understand.
He's going axe throwing tonight. I told him, I said, please don't pull a hamstring.
He's going to throw a shoulder out or
No, he'll pull a hamstring. That man manages to pull a hamstring in things that don't involve the legs.
He's using a blower outside and he steps off of this little.
He was weed
part of
eating.
a drain.
He was weed eating.
So weeding. Oh, so that makes it a lot better.
Oh,
he's What? Go ahead. What?
Nothing.
It
was weed eating. I mean, it was holding.
I trust you. I believe you.
And then he stepped off of the grate.
And
that's funny that we call that weed eating. Weed eating is a brand of trimmer.
I know, yeah.
It's like Kleenex. You give me a Kleenex.
Yeah,
or what kind of
a weed eater. Yeah.
What kind of coat do you want?
It's probably actually a Ryobi now, but.
So he was working on that and stepped off of it and tore his Achilles, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. He had a cabinet or a shelf in the fridge drop, and he tried to catch the milk or something.
Tore his Achilles?
No.
Oh.
That was the first. That was the first one.
Right.
This is the second accident.
Now we're in the kitchen, and he's at the ice box or refrigerator, whatever you want to call it.
Hillbilly came out right there. Icebox.
I know, icebox. So, and the shelf breaks free, and he grabs everything and tears his bicep.
He gets Popeye arm.
Yeah, tore one of the muscles free from the bicep.
His most recent
bowling and rips his
he tore a
glute or something, or
he
hamstring.
He pulled a hamstring bowling, but his most recent is when he took the cream cheese out of the fridge and the liquid off the top of the cream cheese fell on the floor. He slipped, did the splits
in the cream cheese.
In the cream cheese juice.
In the cream cheese juice.
Cheese crease.
Yep, and did the splits and almost tore his quad. No.
Yeah, it's just no, it was his ham.
It was a hamstring.
And he was like
he was black and blue from top to bottom.
I mean, his whole leg was
I saw a picture of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I didn't know it was from cream cheese.
It's from cream cheese juice, yes. So this man is accident prone. So yes, he does like to play golf though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He can play golf.
If he's going axe throwing, he's going to tear something up.
I told him, I said, please don't pull a hamstring. He laughed.
He's a schlemiel.
Yeah, just can't.
Not a schlemazel.
I digressed the hell out of us on this, but I was talking about her dad because he's this huge golfer, and I asked him, I said, can I go play with golf with you? No. Plain and simple. No.
Did he?
It's fun,
really?
but
yes, he really did. He just no.
I didn't know you asked him.
It was I wanted to go. I said, hey, can I go hang out with you? Go play golf? I've never played golf before. No.
Oh.
But it's a lot of fun as long as you don't take it seriously. You want to be trashed and using a cart, inebriated. And if anybody tries to push you from behind to play faster,
you flip them off, or
my uncle threatened to wrap a 2-iron around somebody's neck one time.
Well, Mike can drive the golf cart inebriated. My father does not partake. So.
Well, yeah, that's true. Okay.
Just watch out for those sand traps.
Yeah.
And watch out for this if you're Cadena, because at Banyan Tree.
I love the way he segued us back into that. Good job, John.
Alligators? Oh, wait, they probably don't have alligators.
So the site of the golf course during the Battle of Okinawa was a Japanese field hospital. And part of the course is next to the beach. There's a cave down there. And the story is that during the battle, there were 17 Japanese nurses, volunteer nurses, female nurses. They were operating field hospital in the cave, to stay away from the bombardment. Mm-hmm. And all 17 of them self-deleted to avoid being captured by the Americans because, the Japanese had brainwashed the Okinawans and themselves into believing that we were these horrible monsters that were going to do these horrible, terrible things to them if they were captured alive, and that they couldn't.
So don't get caught at all costs.
Don't get caught, or the Americans will do horrible things to you. They're,
torture,
especially Marines. They're all criminal gangsters and stuff, and are come from prisons. Is where they empty the prisons out, so they get the Marine Corps. That is the kind of stuff they were telling. So they self-deleted, and there are reports of wailing and screaming coming from the cave, and the deaths of several local swimmers in the area have been attributed to their vengeful spirits.
Really?
And to this day, most Okinawans will not go near the cave, especially not near its entrance. They stay away from the entire area.
Really? Now,
so this cave is on the golf course?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
The entrance is boarded up now, but it's there. Locals won't go near it. Most people use the golf course are American servicemen anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, another spot, which is north of Kadena, is called Cape Maeda. Maeda. Today, this is a popular, diving and snorkeling area. They have a blue cave for diving. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful place. They got the clear turquoise tropical water, white sand between two cliffs. Now, during the battle, this was also another Japanese field hospital and the site from which many Okinawans took the dive. I'm sure you've probably seen the film footage from the Battle of Okinawa of these civilians thinking of what the horrible things the Americans were going to do to them, jumping off the cliffs. Some of them holding their infants in their hands and jumping off the cliffs.
I have not seen that.
You haven't seen that?
No, and I'm glad.
It's pretty famous film footage.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's awful.
It's color, too, because it's 1945, so color cameras. But
that's terrible.
And so today, there are visitors who will see apparitions of people jumping off the cliff and then disappearing in thin air,
Oh, my.
part of the way down. Divers have reported spectral figures in the water with them.
Really?
That's interesting.
And recently, and I heard this EVP, someone was using a underwater recording device and recording an EVP of someone saying, "Get out of here," like they were underwater.
Get out of here.
Get out of my watery grave.
So
Interesting.
were they trying to catch EVPs when they caught
I'm not sure
this,
why he was recording audio.
or he was down there recording whale farts or something.
He might have been down there recording whale farts.
That sounds like a lot cooler than EVP.
Or he could have been doing this because there has been an investigation on the island recently. Josh Gates sent his Expedition X team of the beautiful and talented Jessica Chobot. Shout out, Jessica.
Yeah, we got it.
And her partner...
Every time.
He's such a dog.
Phil something or another. I don't know, the dude.
Yeah, the dude who doesn't count.
unimportant one.
He just disappears into the background. He went out on a boat into the water there off Cape Maeda and dropped a recording device. And you could hear, and he's the skeptic, and he didn't know what to make of it. What sounds like whispering voices under the water.
He put the recording device under the water?
Yeah, he went out in a boat and
Man in the
popped
boat?
it down. But that's where I heard the EVP was on. It's this new season. I think it's episode 5.
I still have never watched that show.
Which one?
Expedition X.
Yeah, I don't think we ever watched
new
it.
one?
Or did I watch it with you one time? Oh, wait. We've watched
something of Josh.
watched
There's Expedition Unknown. He's got a bunch of shows, but Expedition X is the...
Are they the ones that we watched for Trans-Allegheny?
No. We watched Ozzy's son.
Jack.
Jack Osborne.
I was thinking that was the one that we watched for Trans-Allegheny. No, I'm thinking of the one that's the offshoot from Ghost Adventures.
And the guy from Ghost Adventures.
Isn't that her, though?
No.
That's not her?
No.
Sorry.
Speaking of Zach, they have not been here. But new episodes of Ghost Adventures House Calls, the ones where he stays home and sends Aaron and everybody else to other people's houses. New episodes dropping, I think, next week.
He flew him to Okinawa.
No, they haven't been to Okinawa. No. As far as I know, the only like televised American television, at least, investigations have been this new like season 7, episode 5, I think, of Expedition X, and they didn't go to all these places. You know,
Right.
It's a 43 minutes of television.
This Cape Maeda is a very jagged offshoot.
Look how pretty the water is, though.
No, yeah, it's very Caribbean-ish.
Yeah, and if you Google just Cape Maeda or Maeda, or all you get is his dive companies and dive guides and all. It's all very touristy.
No.
It's very jaggedy.
It is jaggedy.
But it has been almost 80 years. I mean,
well, I'm just thinking about this one.
Yeah.
It's pretty, though.
It's also covered in tombs. The whole area. The same tombs, like that I described, those same ancient Okinawan tombs are all over that area of
that cape.
Well, you think about it, it's 60. You said 60 by
miles
7?
by 7 miles wide.
So I mean, if you think
there's
about it,
there's very limited amounts of land.
There's limited amounts of land to build.
Well, the whole place is the whole island's covered in these tombs.
It's a tomb.
Yeah,
the whole island is a tomb.
Is a graveyard.
It's like build a tomb, build a house,
and not just a war graveyard, but we're talking ancient stuff.
Yeah,
like samurais.
Or
because that's been. Yeah. How long do they know that it's been populated? Did we look into that at all?
Oh, thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I mean,
wow.
So,
now there's another thing up there. There's a running path up there that's often used by American servicemen, and they've reported being attacked by an unseen force that tries to push them towards the cliffs. Others have reported seeing specters of Okinawan women in traditional garb.
Like geishas?
No, Japanese.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't know if it was similar garbs. If we've kind of...
What you would have seen the native Okinawans wearing during World War II.
I see.
And on that Expedition X episode, he interviewed a Marine who was on the running path there at Maeda. And he's jogging. This is at night. And he sees something coming towards him the other way on the path. And he recognizes this is an stooped over elderly Okinawan man dressed in traditional garb. And then as he gets closer, he sees the face. And the face is got a grin ear to ear all the way up here, like one of those like Japanese demon masks you would see, you know? And he claims he runs by him, and he goes speeding up now, right? Ghost is going this way, he's going this way. And he speeds up and turns around to look back. And he sees that head is completely turned around the other way facing him, but the body is still going that way.
No. That's a no from me.
And he really sped up.
Creepy.
And that was his last nighttime jog. So another one of the famous places there is Gate 3 at U.S. Marine Corps Base Camp Hansen. Now, the stories are that Marines that were assigned to nighttime guard duty at Gate 3, they would see apparitions of World War II era Japanese soldiers outside the wire, just appearing and disappearing. But then the most famous story that multiple guards reported, at night, they would see someone approaching the gate, and they would realize that they are seeing a Marine in World War II era dungarees, you know, combat with poncho that it's all torn up and covered in blood, and with a facial wound, and he would walk up to them. Hey, buddy, got a light? And hold out a cigarette and ask for a light.
No. No, I do not.
Some of them apparently obliged him, lit his cigarette, then he would turn, thanks, buddy, walk away and disappear. Wow. This stuff was reported enough.
Can you imagine trying to light this dude's cigarette?
This was reported enough that it became difficult, even under orders, to get someone to guard that gate or to stay on post.
It's like it's the immortal cigarette. Like, because they're physically able to light it.
Much like the situation with Building 2283, the base commander decided the easiest way to deal with this insubordination was just to close that gate permanently and turn it into a piece of fence. And we'll just not even have a gate 3 rather than deal with this.
Oh my God.
So it was really a thing.
Yeah, it was a thing that it became a problem, so they had to shut down the gate.
I mean, what's wrong? The man just wants his cigarette lit.
Yeah, but you can't get anybody to go guard the gate.
Oh,
would you really want to go guard the gate?
Well, not really, but if the man only wants me to light a cigarette,
and you've got your Marines telling you,
hell no.
That
screw that. Give me an Article 15. I ain't guarding that gate.
Yeah, you got these Marines that are scared of ghost stories and stuff, so it's easier just to shut down the gate. It's just like the Building 2283, when you've got your security police coming back, they won't even go near the place. You can't assign anybody to live there because nobody will take it.
Yeah,
you tear it down.
I guess if you can light a man's cigarette, what else is going to show up?
That's pretty spooky, though.
Yeah, that was a pretty.
That's crazy.
Well, the fact that you could light his cigarette.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like the recurrent cigarette.
It's like it's crossing that path between ethereal and
I don't
physical,
even know how that.
How's that work?
How that works.
And where's this cigarette box? Like, how many cigarettes he's got? Like, in the other world.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just
I don't know.
strange.
You need a lucky strike from
It's almost kind of like a residual thing, but that interacts. I don't know.
Yeah, that's strange.
Once they shut down Gate 3, though, then it stopped. So.
No, we don't know.
Damn, his Groundhog Day stopped. He never got his cigarette lit again.
Yeah. That colonel, whatever, decided that's enough.
That's crazy.
Putting an end to this.
That's crazy.
And what do you tell your men? As a colonel, what do you tell your men?
That it's no longer viable to keep that gate open, budget cuts,
no,
whatever.
I mean seriously, what do you tell to that guy who says, hell no, I ain't going out there and guarding that gate. I know what comes up to that gate every night.
I don't know what you tell him. You shut down, you order him during the
day.
Boy,
get over there to that gate.
You said you get some CBs out there during the daytime to convert that gate into fence.
That's what you do.
I don't know what a CB is, but I'm assuming.
That's a naval construction battalion.
Construction. Is it brigade, battalion?
Battalion.
I have to decipher all y'all's military talk.
They built the airfields. They built the airfields.
I appreciate it. I'm just, I'm helping the listeners too, because, I'm new to this military thing. New as in 14 years, but still, I'm learning something new every time. Every time we talk.
So there's another place that it's not near Kadena. It's further north up the island, but it's called the Matsuda Cave System. It's a large limestone cave system, and during the battle, this was used as a hideout, for Japanese soldiers and Okinawan civilians to get away from the bombardment, and many who went down into these caves never came out. Not only because we shelled and bombed the caves,
I was going to say
because it was full of Japanese troops, but also because of disease, starvation, and the ever-present course self-deletion.
What to say? Self-deletion.
Yeah, one of the stories I heard was how they were like napalming basically the caves. They would throw fire bombs down in there, even though they knew that there were all these people in there and they wouldn't come out.
That's the Japanese used the Okinawans as basically as human shields.
Yeah, they firebombed the caves, and they had flamethrowers up there on the caves and stuff.
Wow.
So
I never knew it was such an intricate cave system there. I know nothing about Okinawa, let's be honest. I know nothing.
I didn't either. Really, I knew about it was that's where Mr. Miyagi's from in Karate Kid, and that they're famous for their karate. and
their bonsai trees.
And they have it's one of the healthiest places in the world. Now, not so much 1945, but Okinawa has the highest concentration of people over the age of 100 anywhere in the world.
And if you go there and train with Mr. Miyagi, you can learn to make some beautiful.
You don't have to go
gardens.
there because he's here running Arnold's Diner.
Well, yeah, that's true.
The happy days where you don't know what we're talking about.
No, I know Happy Days.
Yeah. Anyway,
I get it. They wear kimonos, by the way. Kimono-like attire.
so these
I was
caves today they're kind of a tourist attraction. You can go. There's tours. They take school kids on tours down these. They look incredibly dangerous to be taking kids down in, but.
So American of you to think that.
Oh, there's a ladder. I mean, you have to go down a ladder and stuff. It's, but
Damn, white boy.
Well, I mean, you go to some of these other countries. Like when we've gone to Mexico, it's like, dude, it's a free for all. Like we're not fencing this up. So if you're dumb enough to look over and you fall, that's your own
for
fault.
sure.
So I'm sure
Yeah,
it's the
well,
same kind
other
of
places-
situation.
Other places have a completely different attitude towards stupidity.
I saw it. So there was Jessica and what's his name interviewed a young lady, very young lady. So it couldn't have been that long ago that was in the caves on a school field trip. And well, I'll tell you. So people report oppression, feelings of oppression, headaches, and spiritual attachments. Now, she said she was down there. She was overcome by headaches and those feeling, kind of those the EMF type reactions, and it brought her to her knees. And the tour guide brought out the bag of salt that they carry with them just in case this happens.
Oh my gosh.
Or it happens frequently enough that tour guides to the caves carry a bag of salt.
Create
A circle?
A
A salt
protection
circle?
Put
sail
the salt
around
on her
them.
shoulders and said something to get the entity to leave her, and she said it lifted the oppression off of her. And but apparently the spirits try to attach themselves to the living to hitch a ride out of the caves. Enough that it happens that tour guides carry salt just in case.
Wow.
Or that's the belief in this is so deep on the island.
wow.
And it is an eerie place. I mean, there's pieces of pottery shards and stuff down there that were
Well, caves are eerie anyway.
from the
Well,
battle.
I totally believe that a spirit can attach to someone. I mean,
I don't know if I would take school children on a tour of.
I forget her name. The lady who did the Ghost Whisperer. The lady who that story is actually based on.
Oh, no, the actress was, man.
Yeah,
Jennifer, what's her name?
Love Hewitt.
Oh, my
Love
gosh.
Hewitt.
But I'm talking about the lady who is the actual Ghost Whisperer.
Does she look like Jennifer Love Hewitt?
I don't know. The God.
I love
She,
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Okay. And
Mary Ann Wachowski.
thank you. And Mary Ann Wachowski wrote this really good book about how she got started and all that. And she said that nearly every nurse that works like in an ER gets spirits attached to them.
Really?
The nurses that work in ERs and ICUs.
Oh, yeah, I like Jennifer Love Hewitt better.
And like
Google image
firefighters.
search her.
Firefighters.
Huh.
People
Said-
I think it's like in the help. What's the word I'm looking for? Not help.
Emergency responder
Like,
type.
Just like
it
medical medical
has to do with
assisting
their,
kind of
What
stuff.
about people who work in the IT departments
No,
for
not
large
so
healthcare
much.
systems?
No, not so much. It's that energy and that wanting to help and being in that field and the spirits attach because of that.
What
Because
if a nurse, an ER nurse, were to go into the cave at Banyan Tree where these 17 Japanese nurses
It'd be interesting, actually.
deleted themselves?
Yeah.
I mean, truly. I mean,
Put a nurse-to-nurse situation.
you never know.
Maybe they'd fight over it. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Tell me what these cave systems were called again.
Matsuda,
Matsuda.
spelled like it sounds.
Okay.
Sounds like a dish.
Now, they went in the cave, and the interesting thing, I don't put much into SLS, right?
What's that?
The camera that maps out the little stick.
Oh,
figure.
yeah.
But they kept getting after they started talking and calling out they're obviously Americans, they started getting little SLS stick figures would pop out from around a corner and pop back. Then over here, further down on this end of the cave, pop out, pop back. Just 1-2 seconds and gone.
Yeah, it's creepy.
I mean, that would be believable.
As if they heard, as they came out to see what was going on, heard
that it was
Americans.
Mm-hmm. The evil Americans.
Yeah, and then hid.
You know, if you had to be a spirit, though, there could be worse places to have to hang out than these cool caves.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I mean, different. That's kind of, people come and see you. Maybe you don't get like...
If you're lucky,
what is that movie?
You could try and hitch a ride out.
What's that movie?
If the tour guide didn't bring salt.
The thing that's in the caves when they go down. What is that movie called? The little...
You talking about the one? You talking about the Descent?
The Descent.
Ooh, I don't want to see what. I don't want to run into those things.
Caves
mole
freak
people.
me out anyway.
Caves are crazy. So I'm just curious though, like in these caves, if it's like some of our like, you know, our caves that we have here, like the
It looks similar.
inner space and all this,
It's
like
got your stalactites and
stalagmites.
and
But I mean, like they have them
Just
with
like
the
babies.
one of the biggest centipedes
lights.
I've ever seen.
No.
There was a massive centipede.
So, but they have like the light systems and everything. I wonder the people that work on those or like maintain those, what kind of things they experience. They probably carry on salt.
They have to carry salt.
I mean, I guess that they have to carry
Yeah.
on salt.
Well, that, you know, I went down to that cave in Arkansas, Devil's Den. I went into Devil's Den, and there's a place there called Fat Man Squeeze.
Did you squeeze?
I did.
I don't want to go through something like that tight. I don't like that.
You could make it through that one.
No, probably
Nothing personal.
Not right now. No, maybe 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago.
I
might
couldn't
could have
make
made
it through that one. I couldn't. Back then, I weighed less than I do now. I was
Me too.
20 pounds lighter, and I couldn't hardly get through at the end. It was like you sucking in, and no, I'm too claustrophobic for that.
Yeah, I know. I see people do it, especially when they get down and it's like this low cover and they have to crawl through it. It's like, oh no,
Nope.
No. What if you get? Let's say you got to crawl through
stuck?
something like that. Okay.
What if you get stuck?
Yeah. Okay. And you can't make it all the way. You got to back out. Or even worse, what if you crawl through it and then just as you get to the other side, there's something there on the other side of that hole.
One of those
you.
mole people from The Descent, like, "Rah."
Oh, it doesn't even have to be that. What if it's just a big ass spider or snake or scorpion
or a bear?
or those albino?
Well, a bear couldn't fit through the squeeze.
Those lizards.
Or a
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that probably wouldn't be in the.
I mean,
Or
it could be
it's like the
anything.
hills have eyes, and that.
Nope.
I watched something about a guy talking about Bigfoots and caves and stuff like that, and he was. I think this was up the Northwest, but he had a camera.
Northwest Expeditions, yeah.
He had a camera, and he set it on. He just opened up his the aperture lens, whatever. Just opened it up and just let it stay there without any light at all, and you could see faces and eyes.
You can
from that.
snorkel in Matsuda.
In the cave.
In the cave.
Oh, hell
really?
no.
It's called the Blue Cave of Matsuda, and these people are snorkeling inside this cave. You want to talk about some EVPs?
Is it beautiful,
Put a dang. Oh yeah. I mean, put a
Oh yeah,
like
for sure.
put one of those underwater
I ain't
EVP
going in that.
So-
thingies
I ain't
in
getting,
there.
do I
I ain't
have
getting
to-
in any water in a cave.
Do I have to like low crawl and all that crap and do the
I'm not
Fat
sure.
Man Squeeze to
There's
get to it?
All these people are taking pictures in this cave, so I'm assuming. I don't think so.
It's pretty big.
It looks like there's like a walkway, and then there's
Yeah, if
a
I
pool.
didn't have to low crawl to get there to do it, I'd be down for that. That looks like fun.
It's pretty big. I don't know, but I don't know about going in water in a cave. I don't know what's in that water. Some cave monster come
Oh,
up there
yeah,
and take my
look at
legs
that.
off.
Maybe
this is in Gayok Sindhu, but
See,
still.
See, it would be really, really nice if you had that. You had like a bottle of champagne, chilled.
Not with all the ghosties with
and
you.
the charcuterie board right
Nope.
there, and you just hang out in that.
We're in Okinawa.
Sushi.
They don't. Yeah, it would be sushi. We're in Okinawa. They don't do cheese.
Okay, sushi. Still be cool.
That's crazy though.
So
anyway, I'm sorry.
There is one more
Digress.
place that's it's probably the best known haunted location in Okinawa, and it's there's the skeletal remains of an abandoned hotel near the ruins of Nakagusuku Castle, which is near Marine Corps Base Camp Foster.
Where was that?
Nakagusuku Castle. Now, this was supposed to be a dream resort by the sea, a stunning seaside paradise that would draw in visitors from all over the world.
Looks like something out of Mexico now.
Now, yeah. The Nakagusuku Hotel, which is known by other names such as Nakagusuku Shirato Kojin, the Royal Hotel, the Takahara, or the Kojin Hotel, or my personal favorite, Hotel Leisureland.
Hotel Leisureland. Yes.
I think I like that name best.
Yeah. It's the easiest one to say.
Hotel Leisureland.
So this was the brainchild of a businessman and politician from the Okinawan capital of Naha by the name of Hajime Takara.
Bless you.
Now,
Could you?
it was envisioned as being a magnificent resort to take advantage of the influx of tourists during the 1975 Okinawa Ocean Exposition, which itself was to celebrate the return of the Ryukyu Island chain to Japan from the United States, who had governed it since 1945. We governed it from 1945 until 1971, right? They were going to have this big exposition, to celebrate
Take it over
being
again.
returned to Japan from the United States. So in the early 1970s, construction began on this sprawling hotel resort, which sit on the hills of Kitanakagusuku.
I love the deep breath he took to do that.
Kitanakagusuku. That's that many syllables.
Panoramic ocean views of both the Pacific Ocean and East China Sea. It's pretty awesome. There's like a great room there with this massive room with the open balcony. Yeah, and you can actually see the Pacific Ocean and the East China Sea and where they meet all from this.
Because that's where, I guess that's where it's sitting then.
That's where it's sitting
geographically. Yeah. Okay. I am a Lulu when it comes to Okinawa. I don't know much about the geometry of it.
This is a great, it's prime real estate.
The geometry.
It's prime real estate.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And no expense was to be spared, This was going to have a fully functioning zoo, complete with giraffes, elephants, lions, tigers, bears, oh my. An amusement park, a water park, a nightclub, all the amenities that you would expect for what was to become a playground for rich tourists. Mm-hmm. However, things didn't quite work out. The resort was doomed to become known as one of the most cursed and haunted places in all of Japan.
Really?
So the problems can be traced back to before they even began construction. These concerned monks in the area, came to Takara-san to plead with him to abandon the plans to develop the site. They explained that the proposed hotel resort was to be built over land that held graves, sacred sites, and what they called a cave inhabited by restless spirits.
Sounds like it's the whole island.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. They said that construction would desecrate this site and upset the spirits. And the nearby castle was also the site of many battles and much bloodshed throughout its several hundred years of history, right? And many of the lords of the castle were buried in tombs on the site. Now, although the governor of Okinawa had moved these graves in the mid-20th century, it is said that many of the bodies actually remained. So they moved the headstones and not the bodies.
Oh, my God.
To build this?
No, like
Did they not watch
before
Poltergeist?
this, it would have been before Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so it would have been during the American governance period. So so
Probably where they got the idea for Poltergeist.
they said that to build on this site would be sacrilege.
Obviously.
Now, all this spooky talk, sacred sites, restless spirits.
It's the whole island. Come on, people.
I want to make the money.
Takara-san is no time, but this is a budding real estate mogul. He's got no time for this crap, right?
Right.
So he ignores the monks. Construction began right as scheduled, but it turns out that he probably should have listened to the monks.
Always listen to the monks.
They might have known what they were talking about. So almost immediately, construction was beset with problems, bad weather, poor road conditions. You had the accidents. Workers began experiencing all manner of freak accidents, mishaps, malfunctions. Equipment would stop working. Secured building materials would just break free and go flying around. You had vehicles that would crash or stall. Workers were injured in strange accidents, and there were countless other freak occurrences that served to hamper the project and started costs to balloon, to skyrocket. And some workers began to complain of seeing shadow figures lurking about the site, somberly watching them. There were even sightings of an apparition that appeared as a 15th century samurai lord.
Can you imagine? You're over there. You got your nail gun. You're building a wall, and you look up.
Get your hard hat on.
Yeah,
over there.
Yeah, got your little orange vest and everything. And some samurai dude standing there staring at you. That's like straight out of Night Stalker with Kolchak,
So these accidents, these mishaps, they're starting continuing. The project is starting to be seen as cursed and haunted. So some of the workers start refusing to come into work. Now,
Understood.
This is where the story takes a bit kind of a left turn into possible urban legend.
Mm-hmm.
But the urban legend is that one day Takara-san, he decides that he's had enough of this, right? And he's going to spend the night in the unfinished structure just to prove that this is all nonsense.
You guys are a bunch of sissies. There's nothing going on here.
And so according to the legend, he spends the night as promised, but when they find him in the morning, he's covered up in a corner, mind broken, completely stark raving mad. Is subsequently committed to an insane asylum in which he allegedly still lives to this day.
Yeah, so this is urban legend, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, who knows, right?
Think.
It's 50-50, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, all urban legends start somewhere.
I mean, don't know where he is, but he did eventually... his families have filed bankruptcy because...
What is it? All myths have some...
basis of reality?
Yeah.
He probably did spend the night there. Probably. Who knows? But
his family's all bankrupt, you said?
They had to declare... he declared bankruptcy. And construction halted in 1975 due to the bankruptcy, which was caused by all the accidents, mishaps, people not coming to work. The cost became egregious.
Project manager wasn't doing his job.
Exactly.
They got a lot of it built.
They did. They just never finished basically the interior. They got it rough out. I mean, it's
why hasn't somebody come in and finished it?
No one has ever picked the project up again. And it's sat there ever since 1975, getting reclaimed by the surrounding forest. And it's become a popular spot for urban explorers. Now, many of these have come back with strange tales of things they saw. Reports of paranormal phenomena are your ubiquitous glowing orbs floating around the site, shadow figures, just like the construction people reported, apparitions in 15th century, Japanese garb. One of the more disturbing things was in the shadows, in the darkness underneath stairwells, would be orange glowing eyes, set of eyes staring back at them from the shadows.
It's a skunk.
And then you've got your...
The
I don't
Japanese
really have
skunk.
Okinawan skunks. I don't
No,
know.
I'm just being silly.
Then
Skunks of Japan.
your feelings of terror, panic, dread, oppression, the usual stuff. and up to and including people claiming to have been assaulted by unseen forces, physical attacks, scratching, that kind of stuff.
And that's a lot of concrete up there.
It is.
Like, and what a prime location.
I did see something that apparently base officials at Camp Hansen have made it off limits to Marine Corps personnel.
It's probably because drugs and the ne'er-do-wells go up there to do their ne'er-do-welling.
They don't have crime in Japan. You know this.
Yes, they do.
They have a 99% solve rate for all crimes.
They
according to
have.
them.
Trust me, that's propaganda.
That is insane to me, though, I mean, we can tell it's been built very well, considering that there's nothing covering it, and it's still
standing.
Still standing, probably just as it was made.
You know, think about when we go to Cabo, and they have that.
I know that one that was abandoned right in the middle of town.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of everything. It's this huge hotel. 12 stories, 15 stories, something like that?
It's. I don't think it's 15 stories, but it's big.
It's on up there.
Yeah.
And it just sits there.
It's like this. It's just a skeleton of a building.
And it's been there for years because some cartel dude got popped. And
guess that's who, unfortunately, builds and owns most of the resorts now in Mexico.
Well, then they said that the government took it over and was going to finish building it, but then they never have.
Is traced back to the cartels.
But it's just, I mean, apparently there's a lot of abandoned hotels in Okinawa.
Now it's just a pariah that stands there. You know, next to the.
Well, this is a popular spot. This place for Leisureland is a popular spot for paranormal investigators.
For leisure activities.
Yeah, like paranormal investigators and urban explorers. You know,
I don't even know. Like, where would you put the zoo and the water park?
I don't know. I don't. It's.
But you know, whenever the military comes in for their guys and they tell them, "Hey, you don't go to this part of town." There's a reason they tell them that, you know, and it's because...
Well, look at the graffiti. The amount of graffiti is insane. And a lot of the...
Yeah.
It was military kids who ended up going, there and stuff. Mm-hmm. So who knows what all...
I'm sure there were drugs and exchanges of all kinds of different things and probably
some devil worshiping.
And... all kinds of stuff. So,
but man, I mean, how do they build anything? There's so many tombs.
It seems like everywhere you look, there's a tomb.
Yeah, like I feel like there's a samurai around every corner.
The whole island is nothing but a
samurai ghost.
Samurai ghost.
Not just samurai ghosts, but then you've got the massive amount of death from the battle.
The military,
right. I mean, you've got
civilians, the Japanese,
200. But 250,000
people that have
almost
died.
Dead people from that one battle.
Just from that one battle over a 2-month span.
Yeah,
that is.
That's
and then you've got a culture that is heavily steeped in this stuff and fully believes in it, which can also, I think, cause a self-fulfilling, kind of.
Yeah, or. Maybe self-fulfilling because they're more open.
But they're more open. That's true. Yeah. But I mean, some of these reports are not from locals.
Yeah. There are probably some legit ghosts on that island. Let's be real.
There has to be. Yeah.
I mean, you figure with that much going on,
Such a short span of time and a small geographical area.
It's like Gettysburg. What was Gettysburg? 85,000 that died there?
But not as many as
Okinawa. Not as many as Okinawa. But my point being, it's a very small area.
Yeah.
And there were, I want to say the number's like 85,000. And one of the reporters said you could walk from one side of the battlefield to the other without ever touching ground just by stepping on bodies. That happened over a period of basically 2 days.
Yeah, but this one went on for months, and
yeah,
just because Japanese didn't know,
250,000 people
didn't know when they were beaten. You're beaten as soon as all those ships you see that armada of the U.S. Navy showing up. You're done. It's over. You should just put that white flag out and give it up.
I think it's a cultural
before
thing.
The first Marines hit the beach.
I think it's a
Once
cultural
you do, you're
thing
screwed eventually.
that they don't believe in giving up. You know,
They believe in seppuku, self-deletion,
yeah.
as opposed to rather than facing the shame of surrender.
Right.
There's no shame surrender. You've seen the massive armada assembled at Okinawa. Maybe this emperor's not a god, and maybe they got some food.
Maybe they got some.
Yeah.
They
food.
look like
kidding.
they got food.
It's just crazy. There's so many. I mean, it looks like this used to be a. I mean, maybe you don't. I don't know how much you know about Okinawa besides the ghost kind of stuff about it, but there's so many abandoned things there, hotels and castles and.
Well, I think a lot of the hotel. I mean, it's a tropical area. This is not like Kyoto or Tokyo or Osaka. There's no snow here.
Right.
You're like 1,000 miles from Tokyo,
Right.
south.
Yeah.
This is
I remember Alan talking about
Equatorial.
it being
hot, humid. This is a
Hot
tropical island.
Yeah, I remember him talking about that.
No
too.
snow monkeys on Okinawa.
Yeah, no, but he did. He talked about monkeys though. I feel like.
I bet there are monkeys.
Yeah.
They're just not those kind that hang out in the snow in little hot springs like in
Oh
Japan.
yeah,
know,
those
those are so
hot.
cool.
Oh, those are the cutest.
Like Japan has winter, real winter with snow and stuff.
Yeah, it can
Okinawa
be super
does
cold.
not,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but I say all that to say it's like, are people not going to Okinawa anymore?
I think they are. I mean,
I mean, I can't
Maeda
tell you
is
it's
a
ever been
very
on my list of places to
popular
go.
tourist
But,
No,
Spot?
it has not.
I mean, now that I know about it, but I mean, I guess it's because it's more of a military place that you don't hear about. Hey, I went to
hundreds
Okinawa.
of thousands of
always-
American servicemen have rotated through Okinawa.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would love to go to Japan. I really would.
No, I think it would be really neat, but Okinawa was
just-
separate. I
The
mean,
problem
I mean,
is
it's still
for-
at this point. It's such a very, very Japanese culture at this point. I mean,
okay,
but
for us though. I mean, you know, geographically,
right?
it's easier for us to go to Europe. You know, if we're going to go like that,
Yeah.
or go to Mexico, go to Canada,
it's a
whatever.
14-hour flight from New York City to Tokyo, so it's not even that far from.
We have to ask
But it's
Alan
much
where it was
more
for Okinawa.
expensive. It's much more expensive when you go that
True.
direction.
Plus, it's the day. It's the day before or some shit, like because of that international dateline thing. It gets all.
Well, that's in
confusing.
Greenwich.
But,
So that's east of here. That's the date line.
the dateline is a bit in between Hawaii and Japan.
Is it?
Yeah.
There was like an 18-hour
Oh, yeah, yeah,
difference
yeah. You're right.
between
You're right.
because
I'm
when
sorry.
because his son lived there for a little bit for about what was it 3 months? I guess it was 3
No,
months.
it's, maybe in.
I think it was about 3 because that's how long his visa was for.
Yeah, you're right.
And so, but they don't use pain medication for dental stuff.
Mm-mm.
And he had
Well,
to have
He had some bad teeth.
he had
that
some bad
needed
teeth,
fixed.
and they said we don't recommend you do it here. They don't use pain medication. And he had to have like
But wouldn't-
multiple teeth removed.
Wasn't he there? Wouldn't he go to the dentist on base?
Mm-mm. That's
But-
from military.
He was family. He was
But
married
not
to.
a dependent though, so he didn't get the same.
Well, here's the way it worked. He went over there before he got cleared or something like that.
That's what it was. Yeah.
He had to be cleared medically to be over there. And because of his teeth, he had, like me, he has bad teeth. And so he couldn't get medically cleared to be over there.
So they said you have 2 options. You have to get your teeth fixed, and they said you may not want to do it here because you'll probably have to have most of your teeth removed, and the ones that are fixed, and they don't use pain medication.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, "I'm gonna go back to the house."
I didn't
and
hear
do
that part. They didn't mention that in anything.
Well, I don't know
read
that,
or
you know,
but
Yeah.
but at least for him, that was his
Easter-
experience.
I'm pretty sure if you're dependent on pay, you're going to get treated by the dentist on base, and you're
The
going to
thing
get pain
was,
medication, whatever.
He was because he was applying for all of that, and you have to
Right.
be medically cleared like the
Before
military
they'll
people.
take you.
And so you have to pass just like the military passes. And so he didn't pass it. But I remember him talking about how different it was. Everything is high, built up. And
Well, yeah, there's
just
nowhere
the
to go
stores,
if you're 60
yeah.
miles long and 7 miles wide.
yeah.
I'd like to go to Japan. I don't know about Okinawa. I mean, yeah, maybe to see the Leisureland Hotel.
That alone is neat.
And
I mean, the
view
abandoned
from that,
stuff.
you know, I don't know if I go there at night.
don't think I
Not
go
because of the
anywhere at
ghosts
night.
so much as why they telling Marine personnel not to go there. But
No, I just think Japan in general is really neat compared to, I see people going to China and stuff. But
you know what's
these
on
are-
my Japan bucket list?
What?
Fugu.
Fugu.
Well, fuck you too.
Pufferfish. So
to
it's
taste,
illegal
to
here,
eat.
right? But if you go there, you have to go. There's a restaurant I saw, and it's in the pufferfish capital of Japan. I can't remember the name of the city, but I watched a chef prepare this deadly poisonous fish with precision, like knife skills. I've never seen anything like it. Arrange the fugu sashimi on a plate in the shape of a crane. The wings spread out and come down to the neck, and then a crane's nest. of
Okay.
fugu.
Let me pause you there for a second. Let's talk about this. So,
Your odds of dying are slim.
okay. So if it's done properly, you get this tingle about your lips, right? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't kill you. It's just a small little tingle about the lips.
But you have to remove all the organs that contain the poison, and you have to carefully remove them so that you don't taint the meat.
And so how did they figure out?
Trial and error, probably using.
It's the same one that ate the cashew.
Yeah, it's like they're drawing straws. Okay, Joe.
Hundreds of years of practice.
Okay, Joe tried it last week, and
But this place was a world famous.
May he rest in peace.
This place was a world famous restaurant with no recorded no deaths from fugu poison. Right? You don't want to just go to the nearest place. Go to Tokyo and say I want fugu because you might die.
So Joe didn't make it last
Because
week,
you
but
might
Bob, this week's it's your turn. So we tried something different. We're pretty sure that we got it right this time. So it's your turn to try the food.
Well, this was the guy who went. He actually had a guide who it was a deadly foods tour of Japan, and fugu. The fugu presentation was the culmination of it, right? But he also ate things I would not touch, like that live octopus that they just cut up into pieces, and the tentacles are.
No.
Hell no.
Well, look at cashews. Even as something as simple as cashew, you've never seen a cashew in a shell, right?
No.
No, and you know why?
Only bags and boxes.
Yeah, but the reason being is because the cashew grows on the bottom of a cashew apple, which is poisonous.
We'll kill you.
And then the outside of it is caustic and will burn you
I thought
like
2
live.
bags of cashews on y'all's
You did,
table.
but you don't see shells on them, and you never will.
Huh.
Because what they do, they have to first remove the apple, and then they have to burn off the outside of the shell before you can even open it up to get to the cashew.
It's amazing how people figured this out.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. Well, okay, last week we soaked it in lye.
Last year, Bob died.
Yeah, last week we tried it with Joe, and we soaked it in lye. That didn't work. So, Bob, it's your turn. And this time we soaked it in lye, and then we let it dry out for 2 weeks. And it's just how did they figure that out?
I saw
interesting.
Anthony Bourdain go at a place in Tokyo or Kyoto or somewhere, and they have these little restaurants. It's like a bar, right, where you can sit. Chicken sashimi
No. No.
on a stick.
Nope.
Hell no.
Raw chicken on a stick.
Nope.
Hell no.
But they said that because the chickens they're not mass produced like we have here. That it's. I mean, he didn't die. He didn't even get sick or anything.
It's like a game chicken. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't touch it. I mean, it's just like
Hell
the live
no.
octopus. I ain't eating that.
Hell
I want
no.
my octopus parboiled and then grilled.
I want it deep fried.
I want it up in
I want some
battered.
I want some panko on it.
Well, I will say that there's some of the foods that are there, China too, that are kind of scary. But I think that as long as they got a lot of noodles I'll eat.
I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot of cool noodles places in Japan like that. I would definitely.
I don't have to eat
They
the
obviously
crazy
have figured it
stuff.
out, right?
Well, truly, but that's the
So-
same. But you have to say that.
And the fried chicken is dope.
I'm sure it's good, but but the thing is too, when you're from a place, it's amazing what you can eat versus when you're not. I mean, look at some of the things you can eat in Mexico that killed us, and the locals are like, "Oh, it's great," and I'm like, and I don't mean killed because it was spicy. I mean killed because they ain't something that's supposed to be eaten in that. For normal, I mean, granted, we're a little watered down here in America.
Food problems in Mexico. I only the last time I was there, I had like one episode of brief Montezuma's Revenge. Just I was a little bit of
that happened to him too, but I mean, it was one of those that was
a little bit of loose stool for half a day. I was good. Then I was good.
But I mean, I'm just saying that what they would normally eat might be a little rough for us, just because we're a little watered down here in America. But.
I mean, I ate tamales that I bought off the back of a dude's bicycle in Belize City. I mean, a shirtless dude riding around on a bicycle with a styrofoam cooler bungee corded to the back of a bicycle.
Trust me, if a guy is riding around on a bicycle with tamales,
because they were in banana leaves.
Okay,
not corn husks, but
then
tamales.
They were amazing. I still had to spit the bones out.
The thing
bother
is,
to debone the chicken, but
the thing is, the food guys down there, they police each other.
Oh yeah.
If they know a guy is like selling garbage, they'll straighten him out pretty quickly.
It would have seemed sketch because I'm pretty sure that his kitchen did not live up to.
Well, I'm sure it didn't, but I'm sure it was fine.
I mean, sometimes
they go a little
overboard.
They do.
I remember there was this place in Gilbert. I don't know if he's still there or not, but so I won't say the name because, but it was a truck, like just a barbecue truck that this old man. This old African American man had, and he was only open Fridays and Saturdays. And I sometimes would drive truck in there, and he would park it. He would park outside of the sawmill there. And if I had to go pick up on a Friday from that sawmill,
you'd pick up.
I'm getting a sandwich. He wasn't wearing any gloves. There's flies buzzing around the brisket and stuff. But I'm gonna tell you what, some of the best damn barbecue I've ever had in my life.
So I don't know how we went from ghosts and ghouls to barbecue.
Well, we were talking about food as it normally happens with John. But we do I just knew we like food. Like you will go to a place based on its food. But I would sure, this is definitely on a bucket list of mine. I would 100% go to Okinawa. I would make that, even if we did like a 10-day thing in Japan, I'd want to probably spend 4 of it in Okinawa. If for no other reason, and to get to spend time on those beaches.
Oh, I know. It's
well,
beautiful.
I mean, they're kind of rocky. But there's some sand beaches, you said.
But you might be swimming with ghosts.
The ghosties? Well, apparently you're going to be walking with them, too, because the whole damn island is a tomb.
I think if you're in downtown Naha, it's probably not that common, but it's some of the other places.
But what fun is that? If I'm going to go to Hoyabachu, I might as well just hang out in the whole island of Okinawa.
Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely go to Japan, but maybe a brief trip to Okinawa, but it seems too hot for my
that's
liking.
true. You're a little puss when it comes to
I see all
hot.
the beautiful snow on Mount Fuji and stuff. I'm like, okay, I like
you say that as
better.
you live in Tyler.
Yeah, it's
in
hell.
Texas.
It's hell here for 8 months out of the year. We live on the surface of the sun. I absolutely hate that's the one thing I hate about Texas.
It's hot here.
Our 8-month-long summer.
It is a long
You
summer.
can
Awful.
move.
It's already we're in it now.
You can
It
move.
is a long summer.
To
John-
where? Where am I going to have the same freedom?
Well.
Yeah, that's true.
But perfect. There's no competition. You can't go to the West Coast. It's ruined.
Yeah.
Well, we have like all climates here in
Coast,
Texas.
ruined.
You can go to the Panhandle and get
The
snow.
only places left with the equivalent amount of freedom and the great weather, at least in the summer, Wyoming and Montana.
It's too expensive.
Exactly. Real estate there costs more than
it's
California.
Yeah.
All right, John, what'd you drink tonight besides water?
I had larceny barrel strength.
What'd you think?
It's good. It's very good. Yep.
I'm liking my Lagavulin 16. Thank you, sir.
Lagavulin 16, and I had the 12-year-old Lagavulin single malt Scotch Isla 2023 special release.
How is it? It is a really good one.
It's really good. It's not as peaty as a Lagavulin, but it's got more punch.
You ever splurge? You should buy the reverse. The Don Julio aged in
did
Lagavulin.
you price that?
It's about $250.
I thought it was more than that.
So is it tequila that tastes like Scotch?
No.
It's aged. It's just finished in Lagavulin barrels.
All right.
Alrighty.
Y'all have a good night.
Okinawa.
Arigato.
Tomo Hagato.
That
Mr.
means
Roboto.
thank you. That's thank you. Yeah.
Sayonara.
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 Arigato.
Wax on?